Heavenly Father, we come to you right now. Thank you for just being who you are, Lord God. Thank you for providing us the space and opportunity to connect. Thank you for allowing us to be images of you so that we can create. Lord, allow this moment to be blessed. Allow your will to be done in this conversation. Allow us to grow from this, and allow whoever hears or whoever sees to grow as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Love that.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Sim, and we back with another episode of Here to Inspire. I'm Sim with my brother.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Abel, man. We are here with another great episode of Here to Inspire.
Oh yeah.
I'm feeling good. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I can't complain.
We got a new guest.
We do. A legend.
Talk about the guest we got today.
We got a legend in the streets.
Not the streets.
I don't know if you know. He's a legend in the streets. We got one of the coldest content creators.
I heard he's a musician.
He be singing them things. Pretty good music. He moved back from LA back to the city.
Yes, sir.
We got the homie Mark Donor in the building.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on.
Bro.
Yes, sir. We glad to have you.
Appreciate you for sure.
I appreciate it. It's
Truly.
cool to connect with other creatives in Cleveland. I feel like there's very few here.
Bro, for sure, man. Definitely.
In the video field, at least. I feel like there's a lot of artists here.
Definitely.
Far and wide.
There is a lot of artists.
There is a lot of artists.
There is a lot.
Shout out to all the artists. Actually, shout out. Have y'all seen the table? Shout out to my homie Duvall Ivory for creating this piece of art that we get to.
What you think about the table, bro?
It's cool. I like it. It's the first thing I noticed when I walked in.
That's an eye catcher.
That was
Little graffiti.
Pause.
That was weird. That's why we had it made by Duvall Ivory. Go follow the boy because he cold with it.
Yeah, he.
But yeah, we are like grateful for the artists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, connecting with creatives. Like we love to connect with other creators. We love to like build and grow. Because we not perfect. We don't know everything.
Yeah.
Right. And we want to be better at what we do.
We continue. We're students of the game.
We're students of the game.
Always.
Still learning.
I'm still learning too.
Bro, so talk about your journey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How you got started and everything.
So, I think, my journey starts in high school. I took a photography class.
Okay.
Film photography class,
Nice.
which I don't think they really even offer that anymore because everything's digital now.
Exactly.
And I just loved taking photos on film and then developing the process. That was at high school, and I used my grandpa's old film camera, like this old Canon. And then I went to college, and it's kind of like around the time when YouTube was starting to like be a big thing. I went to college at Ohio University. I studied broadcast journalism.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So as a freshman, I was like, I really wanted to get involved. So I went to the local TV station. Ohio University was like, I guess, top 10 journalism school in the nation. So I went there and I went to this TV station called WOUB. I was like, hey, how do I get involved? I wanted to be on ESPN. That was kind of like my goal. I wanted to be like a sports broadcaster. And they were like, well, you're a freshman, you got to work your way up. And I was like, well, but they're like, we need camera guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do it. I just want to get involved.
Yeah.
I would go, I worked for this TV station called Gridiron Glory. And it's kind of like Friday Night Lights here where they go and they cover high school football.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
So I got to film because they needed more tech guys. So I went out, filmed a few games, and then they're like, all right, do you know how to edit? And I was like, yeah.
Exactly. That's what you say.
I edited one thing in high school for like a psychology project.
Put on the resume.
Yeah, they're like, all right, can you edit this like 1 minute mini pack for the whatever game of the week or something like that? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So I edited this 1 minute mini pack, and they're like, have you've never edited before? I was like, no, this is kind of like the first thing I've ever done. They're like, this is better than some of the juniors and seniors have ever done. So I was like, all right, sick. So I got to film a few games, and then towards the later on in the season, during the playoffs, I got to do like some online camera work, like on camera work.
Oh, that's fire. Okay.
So I got to cover like Joe Burrow, actually. He went to Athens High School.
Oh,
I got to
sweet.
cover him. So then my sophomore year, I think it was, probably around that time, I asked my dad, he's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I want a camera.
Yep.
I want this Canon 70D. It was like $1,000.
Yeah.
He's like, $1,000. Like, he's got 4 kids. He's like, if I get you this is the only thing you're getting. I was like, that's fine. That's all I want. So he bought me this Canon 70D. And then I think my sophomore year, there was this like YouTube channel called I'm Schmacked. You guys know what that is?
I'm Schmacked?
Yeah, so
It
they
sound familiar.
They used to go around to colleges and they would film like party schools. They go to the next college. They make like a recap video of how crazy the parties are at this school. So at the time, we got ranked #1 party school by Playboy. And every week at OU, I don't know if you guys have been there. And during the spring, they have fest season. You been there?
Yeah.
So they have fest season. So every street for like 4 weeks leading up to the Number Fest has a fest as a party. So they had Mill Fest, and they had High Fest, and they had Palmer Fest, and then they had the Number Fest.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna make these I'm Schmacked party videos, and just do it.
Yeah.
So I made the first one. It was Mill Fest, and this is the first YouTube video I ever made, and it got like 40,000 views.
Sheesh.
I had 0 subscribers. I made the video. The party was on Saturday. I posted it on Wednesday. And I just sent it to all my friends, like, yo, like, can you retweet my tweet? Like, so this like spreads around the school. So it kind of went viral around the school. So then the next week was High Fest. I was like, all right, I got to make another video.
Yep.
So Saturday, filmed the video. Wednesday, post the video. 75,000 views. Like, Bro Bible picked it up. Some news publications picked it up. And I was like, all right, next week, gotta make a new video. Palmer Place, that one didn't do as good. It did like 40,000 again. And then I made the Number, and then I got like invited to the Number Fest to make a video for that one. But then after those 4 weeks, I didn't know what videos to make because that was the content.
Exactly.
So I went back, I was doing the TV station at the time and got on air with that. And the next year, I was like, all right, the fest came around. I was like, all right, I'm gonna like really go all out with this one. I had some inspirations like Devin Supertramp. He was one of my big inspirations on YouTube. I got like a steady cam. I was like, I'm going to make this whole intro. It's going to be planned out. I had like this guy on a longboard. I was like, he's going to go down the hill. He's going to dive on a slip and slide at the bottom of the hill. People are going to be spraying beer on him. He's going to shotgun a beer at the end. That's my intro. I got a guy with
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
So I got
sequence.
I got a guy in Athens who had a donkey, and there was this guy that was in my videos from the year before. His name was Frat Dwarf. He was this dwarf who was in fraternities. So I was like, all right, the thumbnail's gonna be this dwarf riding a donkey.
Got to.
And I got this big bottle of Belvedere that was the size of him. And I was like, this is gonna go so viral. I spent in college it was a lot of money, like $200 on this whole like shoot for nothing. And I was like, this is going to go viral. It's going to do 1 million views. And it did like 40,000. And I was like, oh, man. And I stopped making the videos because I like spent all this money. But that was like the start of my like journey. And while I was shooting those videos, I met Logan Paul. He went to Ohio University and he was a big viner at the time. Yeah. And we met through that. And then I DM'd him on Twitter and I was like, yo, I'm that guy that you met doing the fest videos. Like, let's make some videos together. So he lived up in Westlake. So after Ohio University, I lived in Hudson. Yeah. We would film some videos, and then he moved out to Los Angeles, and he asked me to go. And I was like, I can't leave college, dude. I've already finished 2 years. I can't, I don't have the millions of followers and the money that you're making. Yeah. I can't just leave college and not have that. So I was like, let me finish my junior year. So in my junior year, I took every class that was only offered on campus, as many credit hours as I could. And I left classes that you could take online. I went and saw which ones you could take online. So after my junior year, he flew me out. I slept in his closet on an air mattress. And then I finished college at Ohio University online. But I only had 10 hours left. Yeah. So or 8, nothing honestly. Crazy. So because I came into college with some AP credits. So I graduated early. Nice. So yeah, I moved out to LA with him and filmed all of his videos, and then that's kind of my start.
Yeah. No, that's tough.
But if you want to go from there, we can.
That's tough. No,
I can keep talking on.
We love it. Yeah. No, that's actually super dope. And then it also shows you was hungry, dream.
Yeah. Hungry.
You was hungry,
yeah. Bro. I for some reason, my roommates in college, we were best friends in high school, and I lived in a trio. There was 3 of us. Yeah. They kind of ganged up as best friends and kind of pushed me away.
And in college?
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't really know why that happened, but I mean, I was spending most of my time making videos and watching YouTube, so I didn't really. They were drinking. I mean, I was drinking still, but and playing video games and stuff. I don't really know why they kind of pushed me away, but
you probably had that extra oomph to like, oh, I want, like, I know where I want to be at, or I got an idea of where I want to be soon, or if bro like, oh yeah, come to LA, it was like, man, I can go to LA or and just grind it out on all aspects.
Well, in college, so I was like, I think I had that hunger and that drive really early on. So I left out. I became the director of this TV show called the Bobcat Sports Showcase.
That's fire.
So I was directing that show. I was
in college?
Filming all the interviews. We did a podcast as well. I guess it was kind of a radio show, but we'll call it a podcast.
That's what these are.
So I was editing this like 30-minute TV show every week for the Bobcat Sports.
That's dope.
And I remember, because what I hated about journalism and what we were learning is how to structure the news was so negative.
Yeah.
It was fear mongering, and it still is that way till this day.
Oh.
So I started to hate it. And
who are you telling?
And also, this was at the time when I was using Final Cut Pro 7 and Final Cut Pro X came out when I was in college. And there was a class on it. I was like, I'm just going to take this class because I already know how to use this. It's an easy A. Yeah. So I'm taking the class and I'm learning from these teachers. They're asking me how to use this software because I'd been using it in WOUB, which was the news station. So I'm teaching people how to use Final Cut.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like the teachers there, I remember them saying, you know, if you're in this job for the money, then, you know, you shouldn't be doing this because what's most likely going to happen is you guys are going to graduate with your degree in journalism and you're going to get a job at a local TV station in West Virginia and make $40,000 a year. And I was like, I remember talking to the kids that I directed the TV show. And I was like, if you guys don't think that you're going to be on ESPN, then you shouldn't be doing this at all.
If you don't see,
number one,
like
that's really,
don't let them tell you that you're gonna be making $40,000 a year in fucking West Virginia.
I'd be looking at them like, you're outrageous.
No, for real, because like that vision, I feel like
what?
I feel like from probably what your friends probably felt, but they couldn't because that college age you can't really like fathom the words to put together. But what they probably felt was a separation. Because with somebody like constantly looking at YouTube or constantly like in their room, like on the computer, like to a college age kid, it's like, man, he just wants to do him. Like that's the thought. It's like he just want to do him. All right, let's go be with other friends, and that's probably how that like came to be. Like they didn't see the vision. That teacher or professor didn't see the vision. Obviously, if you're doing this for the money, that's wild to say to a college student.
What you think? How I'm gonna survive?
Right?
Like why do you?
Like why would you say that?
Why would you say that to? I'm in college. Like I get if I'm like just working a job. It's a difference. Like when you go to school, like you have aspirations for greater, right?
Yeah.
And like not saying that type of job isn't greater, but like.
But it does seem that it's such a common theme in people's lives. They're always like, you know, I had that one teacher that said I would never amount to anything. But like, why are you teaching and saying this to kids?
That's a wild thing to do.
Teachers in I'll probably get some hate for this. My mom was a teacher, but like teachers, for example, in college that are teaching journalism, in my opinion, they failed at achieving that.
Yeah.
So that's why they're teaching it. So it's like,
that's good.
I don't know.
You're not lying though. Like that's good.
But I remember yelling at everyone because our deadline for was like Wednesday because the show came out on Thursday. And I like yelled at everyone. I'm like, why are you guys not like everybody was turning stuff in like late Wednesday. They didn't take it serious. So I remember like going off on them.
Bro, I'm like that.
And they all like looked at me like I was crazy, this, that, and the other.
Now.
Yeah.
Like I've been like that.
Procrastinator? Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Procrastinator?
Yeah. No, like I'm putting the pressure on boys. Like, we need to get this done.
Yeah.
Like, get it done now. Like, why are we waiting?
Yeah. He big on that.
We don't.
Legendary procrastinator.
Same.
It's the ADHD. I'd be like,
same. Yeah.
Man, all this stuff to do.
I need a deadline and some pressure to actually get shit done.
Bro, I need.
But I ain't gonna lie to you though. But when I'm under pressure, I shine like a diamond.
Yeah.
No, for real.
I shine like a diamond. When
Makes
I'm
you lock
pressure.
in.
This film right here, like, the most pressure, like out of all these films, this joint right here, like applied the most pressure. Like it was deadline set. It was money lost, money gained, money.
Yep.
It was money lost, money lost.
Yeah.
It was people like who came in who said they was gonna be there who didn't show up. Like it's so many different like points to add more pressure to like or add more like gas to the fire for real.
Yeah.
That just like turned us up. Like this joint is crazy because of the amount of pressure that we like get under, and I feel like as a creative we need that.
Man, I used to think like, man, am I doing too much? Because sometimes I'd be like, man, I'm like, I ain't gonna say I'm yelling, but my wife catch me on the phone like, is you okay? I'm like, I think so.
Yeah.
But I need this to be done.
Yeah.
Usually it's like if nobody else, who could do it better than you? That's how kind of like how I think of things. Like,
but that's something I learned from Logan on how to scale.
Yeah.
Because I was the same way, right? Like I was editing on my vlogs, and I was doing Monday, Wednesday when I started daily vlogging. I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He was doing every day, and he had editors. And my gift, in my opinion, was editing. I was good at editing, and I enjoyed editing. But he told me, he's like, if you want to scale, you need to get editors. So I had some trials with some editors, and to me, they weren't doing it as good as me. So it was frustrating, but I had to give up a little bit of that like control because I couldn't vlog all day, edit all night, every day.
Exactly. That trust, man. That's tough for us as creatives in general. Damn, do I really want to
relinquish the power?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same, like, it don't actually look the way, but at the same time, you also got to trust other people processing the other people the way they think as well. Like, they might think a little different.
I would say that's one thing that I learned. Like, you got to trust the process beyond your process. Like, it's something that we should look for, like we should look towards, that's beyond like what we see. Because I know for you, like you got a certain vision, you got a certain eye, like it needs to be like this, right? And like for me, I'm like, it could actually be a little like I don't want to ever sacrifice the quality, but like timing wise, with this like diminish the whole project,
bro. Sometimes I'll be on the editing floor like, do it again. Let's try it over.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's a little different with what you guys are doing with like feature films and stuff like that, documentaries. But the landscape for like social media is quantity. Yeah. You know, the ADHD we talk about, like TikTok even, like it started with 6-second Vine, and then I remember Instagram went to 15 seconds, and then people are like, 15 seconds, that's crazy. And then Instagram went to a minute, and people were like, who the gonna watch minute-long videos? Just keep, you know, and then YouTube's like 10 minutes, and then now TikTok started at 60 seconds, and then TikTok you can upload like an hour now.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Because like the truth of the matter is, like I feel like people I feel like when Vine came out, people like obviously, you know, moved into that 6-second mindset, but the longer landscape wasn't dead. Honestly, it wasn't dead. Yeah. People just believed it was dead because the popularity showed so much of like what Vine could do or what TikTok could do, like those short clips.
You could really storytell.
And Vine, like you created 6 second, like you create a whole minute, just chop up the 6 seconds per, you know, like part 1, part 2, all of that.
Kind of
like,
makes you cut out all the bull.
It makes you cut out the BS
point.
For sure.
Bro, to the point.
Directly. I feel like it allowed people to like really become or really show like how creative can you be in 6 seconds. Like it put
Vine was fire.
It put the pressure.
Vine was super.
It put the pressure on you.
Super dope, bro.
Yeah, I never really got into Vine. I ain't gonna lie. I like sitting down watching long stuff. Yeah, like that was my thing. I was like, golly, what else? Like, cause it was just new, and I'm like, all right. Let me see something. Let me just sit down and like watch. Like I like the depth of story. Like I like the true like long drawn out depth of story. Like that's my whole thing. I'm like more.
Yeah. So bro, like when you how was it? So you moved to LA. How long were you in LA in general?
So I moved out there, and I lived at this place called 1600 Vine, and it was all the Viners at the time, the big Viners.
You like a creative house.
Pretty much. Okay. And it was kind of like the perfect, you know how they have like these like new content houses and they all fail, right? Yeah. I think the reason that 1600 Vine was successful was because everybody had their own apartment So it was like a content house, but you didn't have to like live
on top of each other,
live on top of each
So
other.
it's like a I don't want to say like a compound, but like
Essentially, I mean, it was like, you know, everybody door was open. You walk in, say what's up, but you went back and you had your own space.
You had your own
That's
space.
dope,
Yeah.
okay.
So at the time, I lived in Logan's closet on an air mattress. I had like this full size air mattress. I was sleeping under his walk-in closet clothes. He was in his room. Next door was his brother Jake, and then he was building that Team 10 at the time. So he had like 8 other people living in there. He had bunk beds in there. He was like, it was nuts how many people were living there. It was crazy. So I lived out there, and I was, you know, making the whole point in me moving out there. I was filming Logan's skits. This is around the time Vine died, actually. Yeah. So I was filming his Instagram skits, and then he wanted me to start up his YouTube channel. So I was doing that, and then I think, you know, he got busy and like booked a movie or something, and I was kind of just sitting around a lot, not doing anything, and I was like really contemplating moving home. I was so bored. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I'm not really liking it out here.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with my dad, and, you know, he's like, he just instilled in me like, you know, you're out there for a reason. He picked you because you're talented. You have what it takes. And so I started to collaborate with the other Viners at the time. It was on Instagram though. So I started filming their skits, and I was like, yeah, I'll film your skit and edit it for you if you tag me. Yeah. And I realized I wasn't gaining followers. No one cared about the videographer, you know. No one cared about the shot by Mark Donor. Yeah. So I started to be like, all right, I'll film your skit. Can I get a scene in it? Can you just put me in it? And then can you be in a skit with me? So, and they're like, yeah, of course. So, you know, we'd film their skit. I'd get a little scene in it, and then I'd come up with a skit idea. I'd film a skit, and then I'd have these big names in my videos. And, you know, looking back at the time, because I had like 40,000 followers on Instagram, and my videos were getting millions of views, and everybody was wondering why. First, I was shooting them different. I was shooting everything on a Steadicam. Yeah. Everything had motion. It was on a DSLR. Everybody else was using iPhone. And then I was filming videos with no audio. I would put a song to it, and everything was visual. So
that's dope.
Innovative.
Anybody could understand what was happening if you don't speak English. So I wouldn't. It was global, you know. Everything was visual, and also, this is something, you know, that people can learn. Whenever a platform introduces a new feature, they push that feature. So this was I started making skits right when Instagram switched from 15 seconds to 60 seconds. Yeah. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was like, oh, cool, 60 seconds. I could do more stuff. So I was posting 60-second videos, 45 to a minute, and they were just getting pushed in the algorithm because it was the new feature on Instagram. Exactly. So they're pushing people that use that feature. Yes. So I got to grow quick, and then I had obviously all these big names in there. I had like Amanda Cerny and Hannah Stocking. She was in a lot of my videos, like Anwar, Rudy, Lance 210, all these guys. So I was obviously getting in their algorithms as well. So I just kind of like timing was everything for me.
That's dope, bro. Yeah, I seen a picture of
crazy.
You and Terry Crews, and Drew listening.
Stop, bro.
with the whistle. Terry got Sim dancing.
They always think I'm Terry Crews because I'm happy. I don't know, and I like dancing.
And then seen a thing with you and Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Will Smith a dog.
Yeah, I met him. I got a lot of opportunities from all the stuff that I did. I funny enough, I met Will Smith right after a breakup. I went to something in Atlanta. It was like at a Porsche place, whatever that, you know, what's the experiences where you drive Porsches. And I just read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which in my opinion is the best book ever. It changed my life. And I was talking to him about that because he was working on a book with the author Mark Manson. So like I just read the book on the flight over, and I read the whole thing on that flight from LA to Atlanta. And Will Smith was such a good dude. I know he gets a lot of hate for what he did on, you know, Chris Rock, but you know, I sat there and talked to him for like 45 minutes and just a conversation.
That's amazing.
And he was a really cool guy.
Bro, that's amazing. So let's go into music. How did you get into
music?
The music.
So I took piano growing up.
Okay.
My biggest regret is stopping piano. I took piano in like 5th grade, and I had this piano teacher, Kimmy Lee. She's a sweetheart, but she wouldn't let me learn the music I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn what was on the radio. You know, like I didn't want to learn Beethoven. I didn't want to learn Bach and Mozart. I know that they're, you know, the start of it all, but like I didn't care for the classical. I just wanted to learn what was on the radio. So I quit playing piano. So when I went to LA, I was doing daily vlogs, and at the time, the diss tracks were popular. They were like, all these YouTubers were making diss tracks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So I didn't really have any. I'm not like, I'm a positive guy. My saying on my YouTube's be positive, be happy, be you. So I was like, I don't want to get involved in any drama.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna make a song.
No, yeah, for sure.
So I made this song called "Does Your Mama Know?" I worked with these guys, Life of Dylan. They were artists out there, and I was like, I'm just gonna make a real song and drop it at the same time all these guys are dropping diss tracks, and everyone was like, where did this come from? You know, like, because I can sing, and you know, I played piano growing up, so it did really well. And I didn't make a song after that, and then I went through a breakup, and I don't know, I just was like, hit my buddy up who manages some artists, and I was like, yo, I want to get in the studio and write some music.
Dope.
So then I started making music.
That's super
breakups
dope.
to do that to you.
Yeah.
No, for real, it'll change your life.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make you become
that's
artistic for sure.
That's super dope, bro. Like I always wanted to learn how to play piano. I feel like piano, man. If you can play piano, you can go somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like therapeutic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
My aunt used to teach me how to play, or my mama used to teach like us how to play. Like we could play by ear because of my mom, but like we ain't never like.
Yeah, I can't read music.
Yeah, I can't read music at all.
I don't think Sim know how to play piano though. I think he lying.
That's weird. That's a weird thing.
I could read the music, but I couldn't read it as like a book. So what I would do is I'd look at the notes, and I'd have a separate piece of paper, and I'd write which notes they were, like A, C, G, you know. And like, so then I'd like, exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I've never seen you play piano though.
You never seen me with man. I had a piano.
I've never seen you play
I do
piano.
This
I think you playing.
I'm a dog, man. See, I don't like to share my talents.
Yeah,
you know when you got so many talents.
I know.
They be hate.
It's hard.
It's weird.
You don't want to brag. You know.
You don't want to brag, but you want to.
But then you're at you're married, but you're at a party and there's a piano. You know,
ladies.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
We've been a couple places and he has not tickled the key.
We have not seen a piano. Hey, so next time y'all see us, we're gonna be at a piano. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show the world. See, I never did this before. I'm gonna show the world that I'm average at playing the piano. That's all I gotta prove, that I'm average.
The thing I liked about music too is like I'd never gone through a breakup before, and I felt like it was a way to like share my story without, because you know, I feel like the more you look at TikTok now, and I think it's the funniest shit ever. So you'll have like I had a public relationship, but you'll have a public relationship and they break up, and then the girl, they just go on this like podcast tour, and they're like sharing about like all this shit about their ex, and I was like, what is this, dude? Like, you guys are like, you go on a podcast tour to talk about your breakup. This is absolutely insane.
We see that on social media a lot now, though.
Like, oh, let's expose my ex. Like, why, dude?
I'm like,
it's such a
dang, that's a lot of information
right?
you're giving up. Like,
you have this personal connection. You love this person.
Yeah.
You break up, and then all of a sudden you just go bash their name.
It'd be tough for the next person to like kind of trust you.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I like? One thing that I've been noticing a lot about like different podcasts is like that narrative of like exes coming on and just like exploiting and exposing like every last detail, but also like the host just being into it. That's the part that I've been like,
well, it doesn't make sense. I mean, you got to play the game with social media, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that game for sure.
People don't care about real shit, and it drives me nuts. You know, they'd rather hear about the dumbest brain rot stuff than something that actually can help them.
So since you said realness, talk about your sobriety, bro. How important and how have that shaped your life?
A lot. I think. So, I went to the #1 party school. I always partied and had fun, and I always say like drink to celebrate, not to medicate. But where my story kind of shifted into drink to medicate was during COVID. I was like on top of the world before COVID. I was doing extremely well. I'm a very social person, so I was going to the gym, waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I'd lost 40 pounds from, my breakup. But yeah, I was crushing it. I was really happy. And then when you took away my social life, they took away the gym, and you're just locked inside your four walls in your apartment, I went crazy. And also I was kind of living during COVID, like COVID wasn't happening. I was still hanging out with my friends. I was vlogging. And then you read the comments and everybody's like, you're so insensitive. Like,
you're not social distancing.
Yeah, you're not social distancing. People are dying and you're the problem. It kind of gets to your head.
Yeah.
So I kind of like took a step back. And then I was working on some music. And then my buddy, he was like playing Call of Duty during COVID, because I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I don't want to do it, man. I'm like, I was addicted to that game as a kid.
Yeah.
And if I pull out the PlayStation, like
if I pull out the PlayStation, no, for real,
I'm never gonna put it away.
For real.
He's like, dude, come on, like we can't really do anything. Like this is how we hang out. I was like, all right, cool. So I started playing COD, and I was like, I got addicted again. And then for some reason I started drinking while I was playing COD. So, what happened was, for whatever reason, I started drinking like 2 bottles of wine a night, playing Call of Duty, and just throwing my life away.
Yeah.
And became a huge problem. I put all the weight back on that I'd lost. And my decision to get sober, I think, what am I now? I'm at like 100 and something days. Let's see. I got sober when I came back here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's amazing.
I'm tracking it. Hold on, let's see. I am 127 days sober.
Congratulations, bro.
But I tried to get sober before, and I would do like dry January.
Yes, sir.
But then I feel like when you set an end date, you're counting the days till that end date, and then you just fall back into it. So I did dry January, was it last year or 2 years ago? And I was just counting the days till January 31st or February 1st. And I just went back to, drinking. So this time, my birthday, I turned 31, and I was like, I'm just going to go sober. Yeah. No end date. I'm just going sober. And that's what's like really helped me. And you kind of like, it's hard at first, especially moving to a new city. I found like, I was drinking a little bit when I got here, and I was like, because I didn't have friends, and I was like, oh, this is what people are doing here. And I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, this is clearly not helping. And then there was like, that quote, like, nothing changes if nothing changes. So I kind of just,
I just posted that. That's on the gram.
I woke up one day, I was like, dude, what the f- are you doing with your life? This is bad for you. It's not, progressing your life at all. So I just went sober one day, and it was tough for like a week. And then, after 30 days, it kind of turns from like, oh, I'm sober to I don't drink. That's kind of how I see it now. I just say that.
That's beautiful.
That's amazing, bro.
That's beautiful.
That is great.
But it's really helped with clarity and like confronting my issues, because I would definitely like, it's easy to drink when life gets stressful
and suppress that stuff.
Suppress it, but it keeps bottling up, and it's eventually going to explode.
It's easy to go numb.
Exactly.
For sure.
Oh, let me just forget about my problems right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking. It's funny. I stopped drinking when I was 20. I want to say 21 or 22.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's huge.
I was drinking a lot. After I graduated high school, 18, like just going back to back. Me and the homies. I used to drink like 2 40s a night. Like on some wild stuff.
He was the bottle.
No, for real. Like, y'all remember Four Locos? Oh my gosh, crack cocaine.
See, I've never had that before in my life.
Insane.
I never had a Four Loko. Yeah.
God bless you. Don't. If you Four Locos are.
I don't think they make them the same as they used to be.
Yeah,
right?
they used to. No, they used to kill boys.
Yeah,
they used to
literally
legit, because they tasted like juice.
Yeah,
like the alcohol, like the level of alcohol that was in it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I used to throw those back. Used to throw 40s back on some wild stuff. And then it was one day. It was me and my homie Ray. Shout out to my brother Ray. We was at a party, and like I just stood. I was like, what if I don't drink tonight? If I just don't drink at this party. And from that moment, and just standing, like it was a house party, so I was standing in the kitchen looking at everybody, just seeing like people, just the flows of like emotions and people like who were drinking. I was just like,
that's crazy, bro.
Like, you can see everything, especially like that from that sober mindset. You could just see it all. And it's like, obviously, like, people trying to have fun and they trying to kick it and this and the third, but like you can see like the tears of this girl over here for whatever she going through, the anger in this dude over here. Like you could see,
and that stuff is super real.
and it's just like
it's crazy, bro. Like
I don't think I want to drink ever again.
It's super crazy because my mom been sober for I think about 20 years now.
Shout out to his mama.
Big shout out to my mama. Yeah, but
For
like
sure.
man, just to see where she would go, you know what I'm saying, or just see the people that was around her and what was going on, just see what that does to you.
Yeah.
Because it's like you said, it's different. Like you said, don't drink to celebrate, not to medicate. I've seen people drinking to medicate all day, like most of all my life.
Yeah.
So it was super crazy. Like they celebrating, but then it become like I need to medicate off this too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was
because it gives you like dopamine in a sense when you're feeling sad.
bro.
A lot of people ask me too. They're like, "How do you go sober?" And I think everybody has to hit rock bottom. Like I don't think you can tell someone like you could tell someone all the benefits of going sober, but I think you got to come to that realization on your own. Like no one can really do it for you.
Yeah.
You have to make that decision yourself.
Yeah.
I got a few friends who were in AA, and like the transition from I didn't know them beforehand, like when they were actual like alcoholics, but like going into their sobriety and like coming out on the other side, like the change. It's like you can see the darkness. Like you've been in the dark, and then you come to the light. You like why would I ever go back to that? And I know like some people have like fallbacks or like slip ups and everything like that. But like the men that these guys are now, I'm like, how are you ever like this?
Yeah,
because like it's like a passion and a conviction and like just a strength, like from people who choose to go sober and like really stick to that. Like your mama, bro, like she like
crazy
strong.
It brings out a confidence in you too to say no.
Yeah.
You know, when everyone else is doing something and you say no, it's not that you think you're better than everyone else, but there's just like power in that discipline.
I'm choosing.
And
that's major. That's major. That's super major. So, moving back to Cleveland, how has that been for you?
Yeah, let us know. How's the Great Lake Erie State?
Moving back.
So I grew up in Hudson.
Yeah.
Then I went to OU, and then I went straight to LA. I was in LA from 2015 to 2024. I think the hardest part, there's a few things that have been difficult for me. To go, first off, I wasn't happy in LA anymore.
Yeah.
I wasn't fulfilled. So that's what I came back to be around family. I have 5 nieces and a nephew. Kind of missed, all of them grow up because I was out living my dream. So I missed a lot of their childhood, and I like I said, I wasn't doing well mentally in LA.
Yeah.
I kind of isolated myself, so I decided to come back and why spend time with people who don't care about me when I could spend time with people who do care about me.
Bro. Talk heavy.
Yeah. So I decided to move back to spend time with family, and I think it's obviously been a struggle for me. One, because I was gone for so long, and I'm bringing myself back into a city where everybody has their life going on. So it's like, how do you insert yourself in someone's life who a lot of, my friends are married with kids. And then I guess on the creative side, it's been a struggle because you go from so many people in LA, not scared to pursue their dream or live outside the norm. And they're all chasing something, which is good and bad, but they all want something more for themselves. So there's this like fire, and there's this internal competitiveness there, where here it's a very different life. Most people here, they go to work, they come home, and they eat dinner, watch TV or Netflix, go to bed, and repeat, and then the weekends they go watch sports, and there's not really it's kind of like a hamster wheel feel here, unless I just haven't met the right people.
No, you're not lying, bro.
Yeah. And then
you're not lying.
Also the weather's been a big,
you go.
Oh my gosh!
You come from the sunny skies to Lord Jesus.
We was just out in L.A.
We was just out in L.A. Yeah.
What was that, December?
Yeah.
We was just out in L.A.
Yeah.
L.A. So to me, like being like I didn't know I was a homebody till I started like leaving home, and I'm like, ugh. But I go out to
that boy
like
super homebody.
We went to L.A. and like it's so like it's beautiful. It is beautiful. But like I forgot where we was at, like Beverly Hills or something.
We was we was in Hollywood, Beverly.
And like the busyness of it, I was just like, this is a bit.
I think that was your first time going out there.
Yeah, definitely my first time going out there. I was like, oh, I couldn't live out here. Like it was just like I feel like from my experience, like growing up here, like being here so much and being like, indoctrinated by Cleveland,
Yeah.
you know, just like it's a completely different world.
Very different. To me though, it's all about perspective, right? It's about how you look at it. Because you can go to Beverly Hills and get inspired. You're like, dude, how do all these people have enough money to afford all of these houses? Like, what are they doing with their lives?
That's where we were. I did get inspired in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you go to Hollywood,
yeah, I was like, oh god. We drove like 20 more minutes. I was like, wait a second.
It's a big disparity. Like you go downtown and you go to Hollywood or Koreatown or whatever, and you're like, what the f- is this? And then you go to Beverly Hills, and
like I could live out here.
Don't walk downtown too late at night.
I had a conversation with my brother, and because I talked to him about this, about the struggle I'm having to adapt to Cleveland, and he said, this is real life. LA isn't real, and I think a lot of people have that perception about LA, but to me, I mean, LA was real.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it shows that there can be more than Cleveland. But also, my brother owns a landscaping company, and
dope.
He was in Florida this weekend, and he asked me to fill in for him for snow plowing. And there was something about, like, I used to work for him growing up. I was like, I just want to do it because I just want to do something, leave the house, stay busy. And I really enjoyed the blue collar work, like snow plowing. There's something about like getting outside and like doing work that
like putting your hands to it.
Exactly. That I don't know. So it's like I do enjoy being back. There's some cool aspects to it, but
for sure.
I do wish that more people were obsessed with videos like I am.
Yeah, like because I feel like, and I would say I think it is. I think people are I think people are obsessed with it, but they don't have the drive. Mm-hmm. They don't have that fire. Like,
I think they're more curious than obsessed.
No, I would say a lot of people are comfortable.
Yeah,
for sure. Let's be real. A lot of people is comfortable.
You could be comfortable and curious all day.
And like that's what we be like. I have this conversation with Sim and a couple of the homies all the time about like how to push past just a barrier. Like, I mean, me being honest, I feel like I've hit my ceiling here in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just going into another phase. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I'm gonna just leave the city. I always talk about leaving the city, but like not leaving, but reaching another, I guess, level of creativity. Mm-hmm. There is creating that avenue or creating that pocket or whatever. But LA, like because I film all over the country. So like from filming in LA to filming in West Palm Beach to filming in Atlanta or something like that, they all got they separate different type of feels or atmospheres. Cleveland is just a little different. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland got it, but like I feel like a lot of people here don't got that hunger. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing is missing. Like, and it's
which is good and bad,
and it's clickish a little bit
because it shows that you're grateful with what you have.
Yeah.
Like I think that's something that I'm trying to be better at, like be thankful for the things that I have as opposed to like chasing, like always wanting that next thing.
That is amazing. Like,
yes,
because I found that with like the daily vlogs. I was doing daily vlogs for 2 years straight, and as I reflect on that period of my life, it's like I was never living in the moment and enjoying it because I was always like, oh, I gotta film this, this. So like I'll look back and like I'm like, damn, I don't even remember that. But like it's cool that I filmed it because like now I remember it.
Yeah.
But
being in that moment.
But always chasing, and I always wondered too. I was like, how are all these celebrities so depressed and, they're into drugs and, they're taking their own lives. They have everything, dude. They have, millions of dollars, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think when you get access to so much stuff that you stop getting like those hits of dopamine, it just becomes so normal and you've done everything that you like, the only thing that fulfills you is drugs now.
Bro, yeah.
Because, and I kind of experienced that with the opportunities I got from daily vlogging. Like I'm flying all over the world. I'm visiting all these countries. I'm jumping out of planes, swimming with sharks, all this stuff.
It's wild.
I've done so much.
You ain't ever been bit.
Yeah.
You stupid. Ain't never been bit.
But it makes you like keep chasing, chase. And
like, what else is out?
Yeah.
I feel like to what your brother said, like Cleveland is real, LA isn't. I feel like that speaks a lot to that. It's like in LA you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to have so much.
Right.
Like, you have the opportunity to have so much. And here, you simply don't have so much opportunity. But, like, the great thing about the city is, like, you get to build so much opportunity. Shout out to the Russo brothers. Shout out to Stephen Cable. Shout out to everybody. You know, everybody who came from the city.
But they all leave.
They all
shout out to everybody who came from the city.
They all did.
MGK.
They all.
I mean, he kind of still has some roots here.
He always come
MGK,
back.
I feel like MGK.
But people always leave though.
People always leave.
And I always talk about this too. Another thing I talk about is who can really make it and stay.
And that's what I feel like.
Even Myles Garrett, he's out this.
Myles Garrett.
LeBron gone.
They slid.
So what is it? Why do people? I mean, there's a lot of success that comes out of Cleveland, but everybody leaves.
They leave. They dip.
I feel like LeBron.
Man, stop it.
I feel like LeBron got a whole school in Akron.
Wasn't it the worst rated school though? Like
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Talk about it.
I think I heard something that everybody failed or something. It had the highest failure rate.
He's like
it's still a school
fanatic.
I'm not a LeBron fanatic.
Yes, you are.
I'm a LeBron supporter.
Great
job. First of all, one of the greatest basketball players ever. We just go. This is a little segment. One of the greatest basketball players ever. Got his son to the league. Shout out to him, like having a dope marriage, like 3 kids.
For sure. For sure.
Built the school. It's about the kids at this point, but built the school. Built the school in his hometown. Like he funds a lot of stuff. In Akron, I believe.
He ain't even there to live. He ain't even.
Don't gotta
live in his
hometown. He played for LA. Well, we wanted to play for the Akron.
No, tell him to go be the principal at
Zips?
the school. Then. Tell him to go be.
That's not his calling.
No, LeBron's a great story. I like LeBron.
No, LeBron.
Shout out. To
but
LeBron,
like people from Cleveland. Well, yeah, people from Cleveland. I mean, people from the city. You know, surrounding areas.
They slide.
They slide, but they can do so much, and they take that Cleveland with them. Like let's not act like they don't take that homegrown blue collar.
But how do you make it not?
I'm gonna say something so terrible, and I ain't gonna say they don't, but who really take that Cleveland with them? But what Cleveland do they take with them? Who from Cleveland do they bring with them?
Who from Cleveland? Shoot,
I think they just.
Bring themselves.
Know the struggle, I guess. They bring that struggle.
They got their teams, as I'm saying, but like, do they come back to the city? All right, let me create this opportunity for you. Let's create this funnel for you to be able to do this, do that, open them doors for certain creatives. I feel like
I can't put my finger on
basketball.
I feel like some
I don't want to be talking out of turn though. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be talking out of turn, but that's a real statement. Like who
come from the city and bring folk with them?
And really though, but not.
I mean,
Brian did it though. Brian did it though.
Brian,
you got Rich. You got
back to Brian. Yeah, Brian the Great.
Relax. You know what I mean? Brian did it for sure. Big major shout out to him. But like, you know what I'm saying? I'll just talk about a couple. I don't want to. I'm not gonna mention nobody or like make it crazy. But like,
exactly.
Just
who's helping others achieve their dream too?
To achieve their dream.
Yeah, true.
Nobody. Like, let's be real. Let's be honest. That's my goal. Like my goal is to if I able to get there, the ladder is always gonna be right there.
Yeah,
I ain't knocking the ladder off.
Yeah,
it's there.
I mean, for me, it's like when I saw Myles Garrett, for example, request a trade. I was like, good, dude. Like,
slide.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is about Cleveland sports teams, we don't pay anyone, and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, let's pay Deshaun Watson before he's performed at all.
Yeah, the boy probably only paid like 5 games.
Yeah, you waste money on that, but then we let go of all these star players like CeCe Sabathia. He goes to the Yankees. Lindor, he goes to the Mets. We have all these great players, and we won't pay them.
Yeah,
and then they go and have success. Like they build like Jose Ramirez. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he went and got paid. Baker Mayfield. Like we don't give these guys what they deserve. I think
balling.
I don't know why our city.
But I say
it might be because of that chase.
I would say the Cavs though is
the Cavs going crazy this year.
They're going crazy, but our guys gonna get paid?
Let's hope so.
I hope they get some pay.
Shout out to Cleveland What's the name?
Cleveland. Why?
Yeah.
That's how you know he don't watch.
Shout out to the Cavs.
He don't watch sports, bro. You can't.
Regardless of
you
that.
can't believe nothing. Sports
I
come out of
watch
his mouth.
competitive
What
sports.
sport? Hockey. Hockey.
I don't watch hockey.
Golf.
Man, I don't.
I saw a documentary on YouTube about Cleveland. We used to be like one of the richer places because of the steel and the Rockefellers and all that stuff.
For sure, yeah.
But
Yeah.
we are like the blue collar town,
Yeah.
which
feel
I
like
think is good.
Cleveland just like is there. It's just, you know what I mean. I feel like it's on the rise. It's really on the rise now. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it
slowly,
is, too.
but gradually. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It sucks like the way a couple things happen. I'm sorry Miles Garrett requested a trade though, for real. But
It's tough.
I think it'll all play out the way it's supposed to play out.
Yeah.
But like, where do you grab your inspiration from?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Now a lot from TikTok, honestly.
Okay.
Like I'll see videos and I'll get inspired and save them, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, it just
But
built
like
from there.
for music, the only time I get inspired for music is like real life.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm big on telling the truth and my
for
like
sure.
my story and stuff.
I love that.
And then I like watching movies. And you know, we talked about the ADHD. I noticed when I was watching movies, I'm always checking my phone. So something I've been doing recently is like putting my phone down
Yeah.
and like watching a movie. I love documentaries. I don't know.
Word.
I
Oh, really?
love documentaries.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I what we do? We did this documentary on girls wrestling. It's like they just made it a sport
Mm-hmm.
in Ohio. I
Oh,
think
cool.
in a couple other states too they made it a sport. So that's pretty dope. Like that's kind of like what we do a lot of that stuff, but like kind of like what I do like now is a lot of doc work.
Yeah.
Like what's some of your favorite like docs and films and stuff like that?
I just watched one on OJ.
Okay.
There's a new one on OJ. And
They
then
pronounced him guilty.
Yo, chill out.
apparently he admitted to his friend
Finally.
that he did it.
Yeah.
I told. I'm sorry. I knew it. Oh man, you ain't killed her.
I mean, if you watch the documentary, you're just like,
You crazy.
how did you not do this? And then I watched another one. It was on the Black Hawk Down.
Bro, I just finished it.
You watched
Black
that
Hawk
one?
Down?
A1.
Yeah,
A1.
What's that about?
What?
Uh,
You never heard of Black Hawk
the
Down?
failed mission in Somalia.
Somalia.
There's a-
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
1993.
And I like action movies a lot. I don't know. I draw a lot of inspiration
Black-
from documentaries and movies.
Black
I
Hawk
love
Down.
action movies.
The way they shot Black Hawk Down was dang near like a scripted film a little bit.
Yeah.
The
That
actual
was-
doc.
Yeah. It's a 3-part series. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Like I was like I was pulled in emotionally in the first 5 minutes.
And they showed both perspectives. They interviewed the guys that in the U.S. Army, and then they interviewed people who were like in Somalia.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Some of the people who
Two
were shooting that
Yeah,
perspectives.
some of the yeah.
That was actually that was great. Like the way they was able to show that whole story, like the people that shooting at the troops, or
Mhm.
the troops shooting at them, and then the bystanders that living in Somalia.
That's
was outrageous.
wild.
Yeah,
I'm not huge into docs. Like, yeah, I'm just.
It depends
I
on the
love.
doc.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the doc. I'm like, man, narrative stories, like just films. I love.
What are your
movies.
favorite films?
My favorite films? Shoot, majority of I ain't gonna say majority of them. A lot of them are like superhero films. My
Oh, wow,
favorite
okay.
superhero film is Zack Snyder's Justice League. That joint is incredible. It's 4 hours. 4 hours and 2
We're
minutes.
so opposite. You know, I
Right.
hate superhero movies.
Do you?
I don't know what it is. I do
It's
not.
probably like a superhero overload.
I just don't like movies that aren't realistic. I can only watch, and not to say like Mission Impossible is realistic, but like
Tom Cruise jumping out there, like, that gotta happen.
I don't know what it is, but like I just can't get behind like fantasy.
The comic, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
What's your
I'm not mad
genre?
at that.
I definitely like action movies.
Okay.
And then I like dramas and thrillers
Dramas.
and document.
What's
Like I
your
like
favorite action.
like for action movie.
Yeah, I'm a huge action.
Law Abiding Citizen.
Ugh, I just watched that joint.
That
I
is
just rewatched. I was like, this joint is crazy.
that is like one of the best movies, just because. I mean, it's pretty gory, but
Yeah.
just the storytelling and the twists and how like that was such a good movie. I love the movie Shooter.
Shooter fire.
Shooter's
One
a
of my-
banger.
Jack Reacher's pretty good.
Hey, look, they
Jack Reacher, the show.
The movie.
Jack Reacher. Oh, I'm thinking of
There's a show though.
the
I'm
show.
thinking of,
they coming out with another series though, Reacher on the 20th.
Since I found out like Jack Reacher in the books are accurate to like
The series.
Alan, yeah, that's the series. How
Yeah.
huge he was. Like I look at the Jack Reacher movies and I'm just pissed that they chose Tom Cruise. I'm like, He 5'3".
Oh, and Jack Reacher's supposed to be big.
He massive. Like how the series is. Like how massive he is. Like that. He's like 6'4", like 250, like a giant.
Yeah.
And then like you see him and Tom Cruise next to each other. I'm like, well.
Yeah, I like those kind of. I'm like, there's a movie called Lucy. Have you guys seen that with Scarlett Johansson? I think that movie was pretty cool.
Good.
I like Molly's Game. I like some of those, interesting movies. I like Shawshank.
Okay.
What else?
The Mind Benders.
Yeah, I like those.
For sure.
Man, Limitless.
Okay,
Limitless. Yeah.
I'm a crime drama type of dude. I love those. What did I just? I'm a Chicago PD.
Okay.
A lot of Dick Wolf's.
Okay. Law and Order
products, not Law and Order, but like the other stuff. I just saw this thing called On Call.
Okay.
On Prime, it was amazing. I love those.
A movie or a show?
A series.
My favorite show of all time is Prison Break.
Prison Break.
My wife loved Prison Break. I never sat down and watched it.
Prison Break is crazy.
I just watched it when I moved back here, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of the same story over and over again. But when I was a kid, I used to love that.
Yeah.
Prison Break, I heard, was really good.
Yeah.
24.
24. You used to watch that?
Yeah. 24 had my family locked in. Mm-hmm. We like, turn it on, Fox 8, baby.
Every Monday or something.
Oh my gosh, it was a wrap for us. It was like, yeah, it's 24 night.
Man,
came out Mondays, I think, Monday nights.
So that's dope. So that's where you kind of like you grab your like inspiration and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean a lot of my stuff too. Like my first inspiration for YouTube, I was on YouTube every day. You know, I was really inspired by this guy Devin Supertramp because he was just making films as everybody else was making YouTube videos. He was, he had some cinema behind him, so I would spend hours. That's why I got the glide cam, like the steady cam.
Yeah,
nice.
I would spend hours just watching behind the scenes videos of him, trying to get like what equipment is he using. He was using too expensive of equipment for me at the time, but I just like tried to find the alternative. Like, he was using 5D Mark III. I'll just get a Canon 70D. He was using 16 to 35 prime lens. I was like, I can't afford that. So I got like a 10 to 18 because the 70D was a crop sensor. Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of my info was was YouTube at the time, and
that's super dope. So that's crazy. And then you do the podcast as well. You want to talk about your pod if you want talk about your podcast and stuff?
I haven't really filmed many episodes here, but so the resurgence of my podcast, I started my podcast a long time ago, actually, before podcasts were popping. And then I was sitting in bed one day scrolling through TikTok or on Instagram, and I had interviewed a guy. He stopped a terrorist attack in Paris on the train. And there's a movie called The 1517 to Paris. Clint Eastwood directed it, and he had them act in the movie.
I seen that movie before. He actually had
he had the actual like people that were the heroes act in the movie.
That's genius.
So I'd had him on my podcast, I don't know, 7 years ago, and he posted like the anniversary of the attack on Instagram. So I was like, you know what? I see all these TikToks of podcasts.
Yeah.
And today's the anniversary. So I got out of bed. I went and I dug up the old podcast episode and I edited down a clip, like a 5-minute, maybe 8-minute clip, which is like too long for TikTok. And I posted it and it wasn't doing well. I was like, whatever, it didn't work. I was thinking about deleting it, and then I was like, I'm just going to go to bed and then I'll wake up in the morning and see how it did. And as I was sleeping, it went viral. And I was like, oh shit. It did like 1 million or 2 million views. And I was like, all right, let me post a part 2. 2 million views. All right, let me post a part 3. 2 million views. I was like, all right, this is crazy that this episode from 7 years ago is now going viral on TikTok.
Nuts. That's amazing.
Viral. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go through all my old episodes because I'd filmed like 100 podcast episodes.
Oh, really?
And I quit my podcast because it wasn't really doing what I noticed on YouTube when I did the interviews. It weren't really doing well.
Yeah.
So I just started to do it with my buddy and just talk about like bullshit. Because like I said, people don't really care about the real. They just want to hear like, oh, who'd you date this week and whatever. What crazy thing happened at a party? So I stopped doing the podcast. But now I saw like, on TikTok, this new platform, people really care about the story. So then I edited another episode. It was a buddy of mine, Kevin Hines. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived. And I'd had him on my podcast 7 years ago. So I cut down his story. I was actually on a flight back to Cleveland. I was editing it on the plane on Spirit. Shout out Spirit. And I was editing on Spirit Airlines. I bought the Wi-Fi. It took like 30 minutes to upload his episode, and it was his story about, jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Posted it, immediately it was going viral. I was like, this is crazy. It did like 30 million views. And I was like, this is nuts. Like all these stories that I was telling 7 years ago that I thought nobody cared about are now finding this new platform where people actually care. And that's what I love about TikTok is you can curate your algorithm. You can have the brain rot stuff where it's like, this means nothing. That could be your algorithm. But there's a lot of people on TikTok who genuinely want to better their lives, or they have open discussions. It's more real, I think. So finally finding success with my podcast on TikTok is what made me want to start filming it again, because it's like,
that's amazing,
but the numbers shouldn't want you to make you do something.
No,
but
sure.
But they help.
It helps.
Getting
the stories out there. And I think, it reminds me why I started. Like the tough thing about, I think, becoming a social media creator is you do it for fun, and then once it becomes a job, the numbers do kind of matter. Because it's like,
for sure,
it's a tough job because you do the same amount of work, but some videos might tank and you make nothing off of it, and some videos might do well and they pay you a lot, which is great, but then you're still doing the same amount of work for other videos and you don't make money. So it's like, it is a stressful job, and your job kind of does depend on the success of your video.
That's dope, man. Like that when you talk about like those interviews and stuff, that journalism kicks in.
For sure.
And I like to share people's stories of struggle. I guess a lot of my podcasts center around people who have been through some shit and have an interesting story to tell, because I feel like we all feel like we're alone when we're going through things. And something I realized when I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up is that we all have similar stories and similar journeys, and there's someone out there that has experienced what you've been through. When I went through my first breakup, I was like, no one knows what it feels like to, feel this pain. But there's so many people out there that, you could share the same story, and it just kind of shows that you aren't alone, and that, it helps people. It really does.
That's another reason why we do film and stuff like that, and be able to just tell stories. You know what I'm saying? Whether a lot of our stuff is all real life stories. Graham, you got the session. Someday, a real life story of somebody. You got mom.
Real life perspective.
Perspective. Yeah. Somebody possibly could have gone through that. Maybe, but it's real life though. What if? And you got My America, which is like super real life, but like us as creatives and also as filmmakers trying to tell a story to inspire people, to also like tell a story to help somebody into the right direction.
I would say like getting deeper into writing and like creating story, I feel like maybe it's not going to be inspiring, maybe it's not going to be like something that make you get up and go, but like to your point of saying maybe it is something just for somebody to realize that they're not alone. I feel like
that's where I was going. Like they feel like, oh man, this person that went through this as well, and I'm like, I could be going through it, or I'm
like
going
going through it.
Man, this might. Now I'm like, cool, I don't feel alone no more. Like, okay, man, if this person can like kind of find the light out of this hole, I can possibly find the light out of the hole as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or not even find that's what I was speaking to. Not even find the light, but understand that it's other people down here.
For sure.
Like because like when we walk in like and I like get deep, but when we walk into like this empty void with no clarity and no like this aimless void that doesn't have like a direct target, we feel like there's nobody that can walk with me. Like it I feel like people strive to be the hero when they should possibly strive to be a friend.
No, majorly.
Like, because I feel like being a hero is awesome, and I feel like I've ran into the fires plenty of times, right? But when people are like on that edge of like possibly taking their own life or like jumping into something that they shouldn't do or like taking somebody else, like those, when they're in those moments, a lot of times, and I feel like Jesus really did this well. He wasn't like, I'm here to save he was like, no, I'm here for you. Like, come with me. Like we in this together. We like Jesus didn't come in and say like daggone I'm here to stop Rome from oppressing you. You're like, nah, we all oppressed together. For sure. But I love you when you saved.
Yeah.
We all in this together, but I love you. Like, I know you're in this dark void, but I'm right here with you. And guess what? I'm the like, you gonna be saved at the end of the day. Like, there's always hope, but know that there's connection in this darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's really good though.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people too. Like when you see hate comments and stuff online, imagine like Gary Vee said this, is like, imagine the hurt and pain someone's going through for them to have to leave such a negative comment about someone else's life. Like, I've never in my life left a hate comment. Like, nothing bothers me about the internet. Like,
that's, man.
But there's a lot of negativity out there, especially with the news. Like I said, like, that's the reason I didn't want to do the news, because everything is just, dude, it's always on to the next thing. You know, you're talking about this guy who killed the healthcare CEO one week, the next week the California's on fire, the next week a plane gets struck. Like, they don't care, dude. And I think the news is the biggest clickbait of all.
For sure.
They run to every single tragedy, report on it, do nothing about it, and then they run to the next one.
Yeah,
that's true. They don't do nothing about it. They don't do nothing about it. They say, look, hey, they on fire. Anyways.
Yeah.
They on fire.
What else happened? They got kidnapped. Anyways. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. I ain't never even thought about it like that. But they don't offer any like I don't want to say sedatives, but any like healing.
There's nothing.
It's like, this happened. Let's keep it going.
And the news used to be like about integrity too. And now it's like, I tell my dad, it's like, is it even news anymore? Because the fact that you know that Fox 8 is conservative and you know that NBC is Democratic, how is that news? Yeah. They're giving their opinions, and then there's no consequences for false reporting anymore. Sure. It's like, oh yeah, we made a false report. Anyways,
exactly.
Los Angeles is on fire today, and this person just lost their whole family. Let's interview them. How do you feel that your house just burned down?
That. Like, yo,
my house just burned down. So
like, why are you in my number one? Why are you in my face?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is sharing stories, but I think the news doesn't have the best interest in sharing those stories.
No, at all. But But bro, where can the people find you at?
Everywhere. Instagram. And it's talking about your creative, about how you feel. I wanted to say something.
Okay.
You said you feel like you've reached your peak in Cleveland.
Bro,
and I think like for me, what's helped creatively is switching platforms and always reinventing yourself. And that's something I'm working on now in Cleveland, trying to reinvent myself, because I kind of started on Vine. Not really. I was at the tail end of it. I started on Instagram making comedy skits. And then I started YouTube vlogging. And then I started a podcast. And then I started making music. And now I'm doing TikTok and constantly and then I did Facebook for a little bit too. Constantly reinventing yourself creatively. That's why I like to do music. It's a new creative expression for me. It's like I can talk about how I'm feeling, but in a not so emotional way, because it's a song and it's a melody or whatever. So I think for you, to explore your creativity in other ways would be something that would be helpful for you. But bro, you can find me everywhere.
I'm writing that down, bro.
YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok,
Donor.
Mark Donor.
Yeah, get it right.
Make sure nobody
get it right.
Gets that wrong. Mark Donor. Yeah. Well, yeah. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I could talk for hours.
You good.
We can too.
No, we can too. We can too. Ain't enough space on these daggone.
No, they was rolling. But no, man, we appreciate you. Like,
I like what you guys are doing. It's really cool. Thank you. I was excited to do this because, like I said, I haven't really met many creatives out here and like-minded individuals, and it's cool to see you pray at the beginning too. And I think that's something that would be really helpful for you guys, just to show that your authentic self. That's really cool.
Yeah, man. That's why we got to
be happy, be you.
Yeah,
to here to inspire, man. You know what I mean?
I think if enough people continue to make stuff like this about positivity and inspiring others to achieve more,
for sure,
but also stay grounded, is
bro.
The future.
That's the future.
That's real.
The news.
Right. Y'all, this has been another great episode of Here to Inspire. Sim,
Yo.
where can they find us? Take us to the crib.
Here to Inspire.
Take us to the crib, Sim. Take us to the crib.
Follow us on IG, TikTok, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things. Hit us up on Spotify. Leave some comments. Anywhere you find podcasts, you'll be listening to us. And we grateful for Mark for coming through. Grateful for Abel for being a G. Grateful for God making me. Glory to his name. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.
See ya.
Peace.